Retirement isn't just about having a number in your bank account. Rather, it's about knowing if you can actually live the life that you want to live without running out of money or outliving your plan. Today, we're going to walk through the 6 key areas that every pre-retiree needs to address to create a clear and flexible retirement. These are the same conversations that I have with many of my own clients, and they could save you years of stress and thousands of dollars. So let's dive into it. Number 1, define your retirement goals. This is where it all starts. Your vision, not numbers, not spreadsheets. This is a must. Similar to if you don't know your destination, if you don't know your goals, both short and long-term goals, how are you ever going to get there? So I want you to ask yourself, what does an ideal retirement look like for me? Is it traveling more? Is it picking up a new hobby that you've been putting off? Is it buying that classic car? Is it renovating your home or relocating closer to family or grandkids? Start first with those short-term goals, say in the first 5 years of retirement, and then think longer term, 10 years out. Retirement isn't just a finish line. That's what I'm trying to hit home here. Rather, retirement is a new chapter in life. The clearer that you are with what matters most to you in retirement, the more focused and strategic you can be with your money. That is, your investments. Area number 2, can you afford the lifestyle that you want to live? Well, once you know what you want through goal planning, the next step is to figure out what it costs. Well, first, identify your expenses, and more specifically, bucket them into needs and wants. Think of needs as housing, food, insurance, healthcare, home maintenance. And think of wants as travel, entertainment, new hobbies, gifts, and other discretionary spending. Something I will immediately point out here is that many retirees underestimate their spending, especially in the first 10 years of retirement. And well, to be frank, that's actually when people spend the most amount of money. Those are your go-go years. This is because you have your health. You're usually pretty active. Maybe you eat more, travel more, or just do more things with that newly found time. So I need you to be honest with yourself here. Be honest about your lifestyle and ask yourself, can my savings and my retirement income support my desired retirement lifestyle? This is important because if you live above your means in retirement, you've already adjusted your lifestyle to match that standard of living. So being proactive about this, thinking ahead and being honest with yourself and being realistic is crucial before you actually go into retirement. It is much harder to adjust your lifestyle later on in retirement. Rather, go into retirement with a lifestyle that you know you can afford. Emotionally, retirement can be challenging. You are literally shifting your mindset from work, 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 and save, save, save to deciding how you want to spend your day, how you want to plan your time. You are now in a time of distribution, not accumulation. And this mindset shift can be very challenging. So why add that unnecessary stress? Rather, navigate this time of life with clarity and just be honest with yourself. This brings us into area number 3. Know your income and income gaps if you have any gaps. So in retirement, what income are you going to have? Right now, think about it. Get out a sheet of paper, a sticky note, whatever it may be, and write it down. Do you have a pension? Do you have rental income? Will you have part-time work or income from any other place? What does your Social Security benefit estimate look like at full retirement age? Will you collect at full retirement age? Will you collect early at 62, or does it make sense to delay it until age 70? And lastly, what investments do you have? Do you have an employer-sponsored plan? Do you have an IRA? Do you have a Roth IRA? Do you have a taxable brokerage account? See, the goal here is to line up your income in retirement, the income that you know you'll be bringing in, and line that up against your expenses. We want to identify a gap if there is a gap here. That is, take your income, take your expenses, and subtract those expenses from that income. If there's no gap, if you have a surplus of income, excellent. Now, if there is a gap, we must ask ourselves, where is this income going to come from? And the short answer is, it's coming from your portfolio, your investments. So this brings us into area number 4. Create a withdrawal strategy. How and when you pull your money from your accounts is just as important as how you've invested it. A smart and properly planned for withdrawal strategy considers which accounts do you draw from first? How long will your money last? Are you exposed to longevity risk? And is there a way to strategically pull out your money to maybe reduce your lifetime tax bill? So how do we do this? Well, we create a dynamic withdrawal strategy, one that adjusts with the markets, inflation, and your needs. Flexibility here is the name of the game, and your plan should properly reflect this. This is no longer that generic 4% rule. So let's get into the 5th area. That is, build a real investment strategy. As we mentioned earlier, retirement is much different than the accumulation phase of life. In retirement, if we are reliant on our portfolio, we are no longer just focused on growth. Rather, this is a multi-pronged strategy. We must be focused on stability, income, and growth. Your portfolio and investments should reflect your timeline, your goals, and your risk tolerance. Now, whatever your neighbor is saying, or friend that you have down the street, or TV personality says, that is not what we're focused on. We're focused on you as an individual. What do you need in retirement? See, in retirement, it's likely that you're going to have a blended portfolio, one that has a liquidity bucket, that is, for short-term needs. And maybe you have a defensive bucket, that is, stable income producing assets. And finally, maybe you have that growth bucket. That growth bucket is growth-focused investments focused on the long term and keeping up with inflation. And guys, do keep in mind, allocation matters. You cannot afford to be too aggressive in retirement, nor can you afford to be too conservative. But just as important for your withdrawal strategy is your asset location. Why? Because this is where we can get strategic with our tax planning. Which brings us into the 6th thing that I want to address. Create a tax plan for your retirement. This is often the most overlooked, which is sort of ironic because it can also be the most costly component of retirement. In fact, many retirees pay more in taxes than anticipated simply because they just didn't plan ahead. They didn't think about, where are my assets located? What is my withdrawal strategy? And how am I invested? Guys, to properly plan for taxes in retirement, we must know where our assets are located, when and how to do Roth conversions, or if they even make sense for your plan. And where do tax gain and tax loss harvesting strategies fit in? Guys, taxes don't stop at retirement, and neither should your plan. Here's the truth. We're going to summarize all of this here. If your goals aren't clear, your spending plan won't be accurate. If your investments aren't aligned with your withdrawal needs, you could run the risk of running out of money. And if your tax plan is reactive, not proactive, you could lose thousands of dollars or overpay in thousands of dollars for no good reason. If you are in a position where you're thinking about retiring soon and you have yet to start planning, or if you have a plan and you just need to review your plan, then I invite you to click the Create Your Free Retirement Plan below in the description and start that process. Can't wait to see you there. See you guys.